Hello and welcome back to the series where I rank all of Ash's battles in the Pokemon anime. We are finally returning with the Hoenn League today, and in my opinion not a great league, not bad, but it could have done a lot better, and that's probably why I was putting off making this video for such a long time. But there's still some big battles in here and still some good ones, so let's get into it and I hope you enjoy. And be sure to like the video if you want to see Ash's Sinnoh League battles ranked as well. Coming in number 6 is Ash versus Gilbert, our first battle of the Hoenn League against Gilbert. I was very disappointed with this battle as it only lasted a few minutes and the whole episode was focused on Morrison's first battle and Tyson's first battle. Morrison's battle was way more entertaining than this one, with Beldum overcoming its disadvantage of only being able to use one move, and then even Tyson's battle was more interesting as a character we've only just met and we've got a backstory for his Meowth in boots. So this episode itself was good, but setting up Ash's rivals for the league. But the battle with Gilbert was just boring. It lasted only a few minutes. Pikachu had a nice strategy of using Hitmonlee's legs against it, as they had already been damaged by missing a high jump kick. But this could have been a lot better if they focused more on it and maybe stretched it into the next episode. I feel like a first league battle always has to be a big significance. For the most part in other leagues they do this well, like Ash vs Mandy or Ash vs Nando. But this one just wasn't that fun to watch. Number 5 is Ash vs Dominic. This battle was actually pretty good. It was in the double battle format, which I liked because this was the whole Gen 3 gimmick, so it made complete sense that the league would go for it in some of the middle rounds. Ash uses Corphish and Torkoal, which are the complete opposite typings, and it worked well, and his opponent had Swalot and Tropius. Tropius was pretty useless. It managed to evade a few attacks, but then after its Solar Beam it got pretty much one shot. But it did manage to take down Torkoal at the same time in a double knockout. And Swalot was insanely overpowered in this battle, being able to absorb pretty much every attack. It was similar to Ash's Murk, how it absorbed attacks into its body, but Ash came up with a plan to stop this, using Crab Hammer to get in close and then grabbing it by its little whiskers and throwing it to the ground, and then finishing it up with Bubble Beam, going straight into its mouth. It was a decent battle, nothing spectacular. It was one of those generic battles that we've seen Ash have many times before. Coming in number 4 is Ash vs Clark. Ash's third battle in the Hoenn League was another double battle. Again, I really appreciate how they stuck with the double battle format for more than one round. Ash came up against a movie director who was called Clark, and he directed his Pokemon like you would direct an orchestra. He also had some powerful Pokemon, having both Quilava and Charizard, both Pokemon Ash owns, and Ash chooses Grooval and Glalie, who are both weak to fire types, and Max has this incredible insight.
Quilava! Ash chose the perfect Pokemon, huh?
So Ash clearly had the disadvantage here, but he works his way around it with some decent strategies, with Grooval taking down Quilava with sheer strength and speed, and finishing it with a pound attack. And then the final matchup was pretty cool. Glalie surrounded the battlefield with giant ice pillars, bouncing off them and finishing off Charizard with a headbutt. It wasn't the most exciting of battles. This is kind of my problem with the Hoenn League. Ash finished off both Pokemon with Headbutt and Pound, two normal type attacks, so visually it wasn't that great. But the fact Ash overcame a massive type disadvantage using two of my favourite Pokemon from his Hoenn team, that's what makes me enjoy this battle a bit more. Coming in third place is Ash vs Morrison. You're probably surprised that this is so low. So Ash and Morrison were finally matched up against each other, these two fierce rivals and close friends who were so similar, but the battle started not as we would have expected. Ash, having dealt with this in the past against the likes of Richie, he knows he has to go all out against a friend to have a true battle, but Morrison just struggled to face Ash here. He wasn't thinking, he was just yelling out attacks, and it cost him early on in the battle as Corphish took down his Girafarig and Growlithe. But after a pep talk from Ash, Morrison was back to his normal self and fired up to get back into the battle. I really like the psychology of Morrison and how he feels about battling a close friend. It's something they dived into heavily against Richie, but we all know how that battle went, so I'm glad they touched on it here again. A disappointing performance from Pikachu, but it was facing up against a Steelix. They got taken down quite easily, and Steelix goes on to take out Ash's Torkoal, which really puts Morrison back into the battle. Ash was really struggling here. He had a 2 Pokemon lead, and then Grooval got taken out by Gligar's Guillotine straight to the throat. I felt Grooval could have done a lot better in this battle. So next up it was Gligar versus Swellow, and I was a bit disappointed again. Another double knockout, the second one of the battle. It was pretty lazy, and this is one of the major problems with this battle. There wasn't much strategy used, they were both just calling out attacks and going head to head, which I guess makes sense as they're both trying to show each other that they're going all out, but at the same time Ash has to use his typical strategies a bit more. The final battle was between Glalie and Metang. This was a bit better than the last battle. They actually used a few more moves and combos. Ash manages to cover Metang with ice and then go in for a spinning headbutt. And the final collision, they both go in for an attack and Glalie comes out on top with headbutt. So overall this battle wasn't that great for me. It wasn't very smart with its combos or strategies. It was just a slogfest of whose attack can overpower the others. And like I said before, it makes sense for Morrison because that's his personality. But we know Ash can outthink his opponent most of the time, so I expected a lot more here. In second place is Ash versus Katie. So finally the first 6-on-6 battle, and Ash comes up against an unknown trainer called Katie. I like that he had a 6-on-6 battle against a trainer we didn't know. This doesn't usually happen, but Ash started the battle really poorly, getting sucked into close range attacks, and both Torkoal and Pikachu got taken down really easily. Glalie came out to turn things around for Ash, taking down both Dugtrio and Mischievous with one hit. I really hate the one-shot battles when they don't feel earned. It just feels really rushed. But saying that, I did enjoy that Mischievous managed to get a Destiny Bond off on Glalie just before fainting, so it took down Glalie with it, leaving Ash with just 3 Pokemon left. Finally the battle gets a bit more lively as Ash's Corphish really comes through against Golduck. Despite being confused, he manages to land an attack after attack and take down Golduck. And then Ash even withdrew it to get rid of its confusion, which was smart. And then Ash introduces Best Bird Swellow, who tears through Venomoth like it's nothing, dodging every attack that comes at it and finish it off with a quick attack. The battle really gets going at this point, and Swellow wasn't even done there. It managed to take down Scizor as well by using Double Team, dodging Katie's hidden power and then finish it up with a quick attack again. Swellow was really doing some nice work in this battle. Katie's final Pokemon was Walrein, and it managed to take down Swellow and Corphish as they'd already battled and were pretty exhausted. So in typical Pokemon League fashion, it was down to Ash's final Pokemon. The final battle was pretty awesome between Gruvall and Walrein. Ash managed to freeze the water of the battlefield using Walrein's Ice Beam against it. And as the two were slugging it out towards the end, Ash's Gruvall charged in close, ducked underneath it and finished it off with Leaf Blade. It was a really good ending. This battle in general was solid. It wasn't anything spectacular. There was a lot of one-hit KOs at the start, which was frustrating, but it definitely got a lot better towards the end, mainly because of Swellow. So coming in number 1, the best battle in the Hoenn League in my opinion is Ash versus Tyson. So Ash versus Tyson, the final battle of Ash's Hoenn League begins with a bang. Sceptile versus Glalie, something that should be an incredible battle, and it ends in just one hit. The double knockout after one move, and the double knockouts continue to frustrate me in this league. Torkoal comes in for Ash afterwards to take down Shiftry with Flamethrower. See, he's not that bad. But Tyson's Hariyama comes in, puts in some work against Ash's Torkoal and Corphish, knocking them both out, leaving Ash with just 3 Pokemon going into the break. But then once again Ash brings out Best Bird Swellow, and it pulls off some nice moves, dodging Focus Punch, then smacking Hariyama dead on with an Aerial Ace. Finally the battle is getting interesting, and Swellow doesn't stop there, as we see the famous moment where it catches Donphan with its feet, stopping it from using Rollout, which was an incredible moment. And then it just throws it on the floor to knock it out. Tyson brings in his powerhouse Metagross, and it manages to finally stop Swellow, but even Swellow manages to pierce its body with a peck and create an opening for Ash to take advantage of. Even in defeat, Swellow put in some great work, and it left Gruvall to spam Bullet Seeds at Metagross in the area that had been damaged already. The battle got so much better towards the end, and Metagross was a big part of that. And I've complained throughout this video that Pikachu hasn't done that much in this league, but it comes in here and it finishes off what Swellow and Gruvall started, and it takes down Metagross, which is a tough opponent despite it being damaged by 2 other Pokemon, so it's still pretty impressive. And then the final battle was between Ash's Pikachu and Tyson's Meowth, and I really enjoyed it. They're both similar Pokemon, they've overcome odds of not being evolved. The backstory for Meowth was really good, and I know a lot of people were annoyed that Pikachu lost to it, but I didn't mind. This was one of Ash's defeats that I actually liked and I thought made sense. So overall this is the best Hoenn League battle in my opinion. So that is my ranking of all of Ash's Hoenn League battles. This one was a little tough for me. I do really love the Hoenn series, but the league just feels slightly rushed with so many double knockouts and one hit KOs. It could have been done a lot better, but there were still some cool moments, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit the like button if you want to see the Sinnoh League battles ranked. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.